a Optavia, a multi-level marketing company, is one of the 5 subsidiaries of Medifast. And Medifast Inc. is an American nutrition and weight loss company based in Baltimore, Maryland. Medifast offers, distributes, and sells weight loss and, as they say it, health-related products through website, multi-level marketing, telemarketing, and franchised weight loss clinics. Optavia used to be named Take Shape for Life, Inc., and it was renamed Optavia in July of 2017. The original founder of Medifast, who owns Optavia, was William Vitale, and he started Medifast in 1980. He sold his products directly to other doctors who in turn prescribed them to their patients. The company is currently publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange, and their symbol is MED. In July 17th, 1995, HealthRite, the predecessor of Medifast, changed its name from Vitamin Specialties Corp. In 2001, the company changed its name to Medifast Inc., and in 2002, retired Marine Colonel Bradley T. McDonald, and chairman of the board at the time, along with clinical specialist Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson, created Take Shape for Life. And that's currently Optavia, and they created it as a personal coach-to-client system in the company's Habits of Health system. In October 2010, Medifast was ranked number 1 on Forbes magazine's list of America's 100 Best Small Companies. Company was ranked 18th as of the 2014 list. Medifast was named one of Forbes 100 Most Trustworthy Companies in America in 2016 and 2017. In July 2017, Medifast changed the name of its subsidiary, Take Shape for Life, to Optavia and introduced a new line of products, Optavia Essentials, directly sold from coaches to clients. Hello, multi-level marketing. In October 2017, Medifast relocated its headquarters to Baltimore from Owings Mills, Maryland. The company is public with a market capitalization of $2.106 billion as of June 2022. In September of 2012, Medifast's subsidiary, Jason Pharmaceuticals, paid $3.7 million civil penalty for, you guessed it, false advertising. The Federal Trade Commission and United States Department of Justice said that advertisements for the Medifast 5-in-1 plan low-calorie diet told consumers they could lose up to 2 to 5 pounds per week, and that these weight loss claims lacked a reasonable scientific basis and were unsubstantiated. Under the settlement, any future claims made by the company must be backed by at least one human clinical study. And if you didn't see on the Optavia website, a lot of their claims have studies linked to them because of this subsidiary of Medifast getting into so much trouble in 2012. Today, we're going to be taking a closer look into Optavia. We're going to be talking to Avery about her perspective, about what she believes to be a negative aspect of the health and wellness companies preying on people who are looking for answers to common questions like losing weight, getting healthier, being more active, and the damage that these types of multi-level marketing companies have, in her opinion and in my opinion, wreaked havoc on the American and global consumer. Thanks so much for joining us, and let's get started. Hello, I am here with Avery today, and we're going to be talking about Optavia, and I said it wrong both times when I was making that video, and I will probably still mess it up during this live stream. I'm DC, I'm an MLM dropout, I'm a graphic designer, and I like to talk on the internet, and Avery is someone I met in the comment section in one of Aaron or Julie Joe's videos, and we've gone back and forth in Discord. She is also a graphic designer. And I think I'm lagging, but I'm going to close out some programs. And while I do that, I'm going to let Avery introduce herself. And I'm so excited to talk to her. So, Avery, go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm sure a lot of people know you already.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Avery Joe. You can just call me Avery. As DC said, I am a graphic designer during the day. And I'm slowly diving my foot into anti-MLM stuff. It's a little bit intimidating for me because I used to do social media for work many years ago. So it was a little bit stressful, and I don't really want to get back into that stress again. um, but I do think it's important to talk about. And I will apologize in advance. My voice is hoarse. I went to a concert yesterday and was a lot of screaming. So
Hey, it sounds like a good time. I'm really glad you got to to go out. Who did you end up seeing again?
it was a group called Stray Kids. They're a K-pop group.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's amazing. Thank you so much to everyone in the live chat already. We're happy that you're here, and please leave your commentary and let us know what you think as we begin to watch this. And I'm gonna double check. I didn't censor it, so I may have to go back and do it afterwards. I had a little bit of a brain fog moment. I'm gonna see if this will work. What I'm doing right now, and I'm going to export it, and we're gonna start. We're gonna talk to Avery first, and then we're gonna do this. I'm still new at this, so um, here's my first question for Avery. Can you tell the viewers, the audience, a little bit about yourself? I know you told us you're a graphic designer, um, and what experience you have with multi-level marketing.
Sure. My experience with MLM started relatively young, like right as I was graduating high school and getting into community college. And the first company that I was introduced to was It Works. Um, so I don't
We
know
know
if you
it
can hear
works.
my dog, but he's whining really.
Oh, poor Mochi, poor buddy.
Mochi. Okay.
We love dogs here. Take all the time you need
Okay.
to.
Uh, but so the first company I was introduced to is It Works, and I didn't really. I talked about this on Aaron's podcast briefly, but it was a brief stint where I thought that I wanted to be a freelancer and like try to work from home and do my own thing. Um, and then when I realized the work that went into MLM stuff, it just made me feel really icky,
Yeah.
and I wasn't a fan. Um, and then after It Works, I was introduced to Motor Club of America, which is kind of like Primerica in a way. It's like a car insurance and car um, like roadside assistance. So they sell a service rather than selling a product, and the reps made it out to seem like you were just getting referrals from people rather than they made it seem more like affiliate marketing than
Okay.
multi-level marketing, basically.
Mm.
Um, but again, it never really panned out. So neither of those lasted very long. They were both within like the same like 6 month time period. So it was a very short stint of me trying multi-level marketing.
Yeah.
And then it was like during that time when I found anti-MLM stuff. And I kind of just went down the rabbit hole and it never stopped.
Yeah. I fell into the rabbit hole as well when I was still in my multi-level marketing thing, and I would have questions and I would ask my upline and they would say, "Oh, those are just those haters. They don't know." And come to find out that wasn't exactly that wasn't exactly the case. In your opinion, what do you believe that multi-level marketing companies target individuals with vulnerabilities?
In my opinion, and in my own experience, yes, I do think that multi-level marketing reps specifically target individuals with vulnerabilities. Specifically with It Works, they were targeting people who were just out of college, like they were like showing on social media like those now hiring posts,
Yeah.
like acting as though they were hiring people. Um, and so like you only had to be 18 or older, and then if you wanted to make extra income and all of those claims. And with It Work specifically, it was those wraps that were
Yep.
like toning. It's really just cellophane with some goo. So
Yeah.
it, and then, but yes, I do think that they target individuals with vulnerabilities just because people who are vulnerable are much more susceptible to joining a company that makes outrageous and too good to be true claims. So,
Yeah, and in sales pitches, they're always talking about, overcoming objections and finding needs that they can say, "Here's my product, and here's what they need," and then it basically builds a bridge for them. So if you're actively looking for help with your health, or if you're actively looking for a job, or if you know, are wanting to spend more time at home or do a more of a work from home opportunity, that's like a shining beacon for the salespeople and saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to that person because like they're actively looking for what I have, even though they are not looking for what multi-level marketing reps are offering." So I mean, and if you find this video and you're still in multi-level marketing, I obviously have lots of feelings that I'm not a big fan of multi-level marketing because of a few specific things. I'm not a fan of people with vulnerabilities getting targeted. I'm not a fan of breaking compliance to say whatever needs to be said to get someone to buy the product. And so I'm about um, oh, following the contract you signed with your company. I'm about following the FDA requirements and the FTC requirements, and those are, like, where my issues start, and that's not necessarily where they stop, but that's a big part of it, and so, you know, I think it's important to do things in an ethical way, even though I don't agree with multi-level marketing. You need to be following the rules when you're in, and when, 1, you're targeting vulnerable people and you're breaking the rules in how you are promising those vulnerable people, um, whatever, it's just I'm not a fan. I am not a fan of that, and I don't think Avery's a fan of that either. I'm
no, that's a big issue of mine
Yeah,
as well.
yep. I'm trying to close out some of my my windows because my computer is throwing a fit. Alright, next question. Do So there's lots of multi-level marketing companies out there. You've been involved with a few of them. I was involved with Mary Kay, which is a cosmetics and skincare company, and I was involved with Young Living Essential Oils. And that is a more of a health, um, clean products, and they claim that these oils can do a lot of things for your health. So I would put it in the health and wellness category. But there's a lot more out there. So, do you, Avery, have issues with health and wellness multi-level marketing companies?
I have a major issue with them. I have an issue with all MLMs, clearly, but health and wellness companies bother me the most because they, well, me personally, I have a lot of personal issues with eating disorders. Like I'm kind of in remission from binge eating disorder. So
Yeah.
as I was younger, it was a very vulnerable time for me. And I was so susceptible to believing what these people were saying. But as I dug deeper into like the actual products and how much they were, and the fact that I could get anything cheaper on Amazon or at Target or GNC, like it just bothers me that they're hiking up the prices of these things when in reality, when they manufacture them, it probably only costs them $15 to do.
Yeah.
Um, and then of course I have a problem with the reps more so because they make these outrageous claims and they show these outrageous testimonials of people losing extreme amounts of weight in very short periods of time.
Yeah.
Like based on CDC guidelines and reports, a healthy amount of weight to lose in a month or in a week is 1 to 2 pounds if you're doing it healthily.
Yeah.
These people in multi-level marketing companies like Optavia, they're losing, like we'll hear in the video shortly, they lose like 60 pounds or even more so in like 3 months.
Yeah.
And that's just, in my mind, it doesn't seem like the healthiest way or the most sustainable way to do it. Because as soon as they get off of this diet, they'll gain the pounds back almost immediately once they start eating a regular diet.
Yeah. And so in Optavia and I did Medifast back in the day before they turned into a multi-level marketing opportunity, and I got royally screwed up by doing that. And I'm still like experiencing the negative side effects from that. And the way that they do it, you basically have prepackaged meals, and then you can eat one meal yourself. So they're basically saying like, you probably don't know how to do the right decisions yourself, and we want to make it easy for you. So anyone probably can make one clean, green, healthy meal a day, and everything else is packaged. At least back when in Medifast it was. And so you are eating packaged food that's all the calories are put in there, and it's very low. It's very low calorie. So what do you do when you're done losing the weight and you don't know how to eat normally, except you know what I mean? Like, you haven't learned the skills to in general eat healthy. You're just on a caloric deficit, and you don't necessarily know how to make decisions. You're paying a premium for all these products.
Exactly.
And when it's in a multi-level marketing company, the products are priced to pay out the uplines for the commission, which that's fine. We know that going in, that's in the contract, that's in the how they get paid out. But if you can choose to do something that you don't have that cost worked in there, where you're not going to get harangued by by your upline, and are you buying your monthly stuff? Are you participating in all the groups? Are you doing all the stuff? It's like, gosh, I think there's probably a better financial choice out there. And you know, the community is a draw. I will say that. I think it's disingenuous of us to say like, "Oh, the community isn't that great." Like, I love the Discord that you and I are in. I like learning from different people. I like having people, like, we all believe kind of different things. We're not
Mm.
clones of each other. We're never forced to think a specific way in the group. So I'm not saying like being a part of a group is bad. I'm just saying that it is a draw for people. It's a draw for me, certainly. I move around all the time. And I can see, if you do get into a multi-level marketing company, that it could be a draw for you too. Just open your eyes up all the way and see all the things that are involved with that. You know?
Yeah, and the main issue I see with that is you can find a community for free on Facebook. There are groups specifically for health and wellness outside of MLMs. It's just people doing what they feel like doing for their body to make them feel better about themselves. They're not hyping up a company or a brand or a product to get you to buy it.
Yeah.
So that also bothers me. You're like paying for a community when you really don't have to do that.
Yeah, we and to be fair, I pay to be in the Discord on Aaron's and Julie Joe's. I'm not saying that paying or actively financially contributing to something you like is, oh, you're in a cult now. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the premium the premium associated with these health and wellness groups when it's not associated with licensed nutritionists or licensed dietitians or registered dietitians, and the cost of it that cluster of things starts to raise a lot of red flags and saying like, is this the right fit? Is this actually like impacting me in a positive way? Because like again, like we're gonna see from this Zoom call we're gonna watch, it's like it does seem like they're promoting EDs or eating disorders. And I want to, before we start the video, we'll definitely give you a trigger warning because if and again, Avery struggles with an eating disorder, so do I. I know someone very close to me that almost died from anorexia. It's not something just to throw on people and surprise them with this information. I really appreciate, Avery, that you're willing to watch this and like speak to it from your perspective, because people who do struggle with eating disorders, it knowing how that impacts someone like you is important. And it is. Oh, buddy, it's okay. He's so cute. I want him on my channel all the time. Oh my gosh. But yeah, and it's just in terms of we're gonna be looking at this program in Optavia, the calories are so low. At least with Medifast, they used to back decades ago. It used to be they used to sell it to doctors, and y- being under the guided care of a doctor is different than being under the guided care of a multi-level marketing independent contractor who is not certified to give you nutritional advice. It's
Yeah,
different. It's different.
it's very different. And like now personally, I am like paying for a subscription, but that is also like it's Copilot, and they have certified trainers and nutritionists on the app that make workouts for you, and they don't force you to buy anything outside of the app to
Cool.
get in touch with them. And it's been so much more beneficial for me talking to an actual professional.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Here's a question. I'd love to know what made Avery switch MLMs.
so at the time, I was just looking for something that would make me feel like I've accomplished something, I guess. So I was looking for work from home opportunities, and I saw one of the reps who had a larger following at the time, and she was really enticing with the way that she promoted the company. And that's kind of why I switched companies. And also with it works with how my team acted with me in like the group chats and everything. It was just not a pleasant experience personally. So that's
Mhm.
also a reason why I switched. So,
Okay. Thanks. Charlene said my mother had major eating disorders and weight issues. I learned terrible eating habits from her behavior, and I'm still teaching myself to not do some of those things. Yeah, and it's hard to unlearn some things that you do. I was playing competitive tennis in high school and college, and I even at the end part of junior high, I was getting out of school early to go play, and my coach definitely participated and added to this idea that it was like or recommending underfeeding all of us and everything. And it's like, you're not a dietitian, you're not a licensed nutritionist, you should not be giving you should definitely not be giving advice to kids. You have no medical qualifications for this. And again, under eating without the supervision of a licensed professional, one of the reasons, from what I understand, why doing that is dangerous is because your body needs a certain amount of protein, and it will take it from wherever it can find it. And sometimes that's your organs. And so you can run into severe heart issues, and other issues because your body needs that protein. It's going to take it from your heart muscle and from other like important organs that keep you functioning. So I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not any in the medical field. I'm saying that it can be a big deal to accept bad nutritional advice from someone who is not licensed. Like actual um unaliving situations that can happen. And so that's why it's a big deal. That's why putting people in the hands of unlicensed professionals of the Optavia, in my opinion, independent contractors can be really dangerous. Um, let's see. Okay. So we've talked about Optavia. Have you had any other experience or have you seen other multi-level marketing companies encourage disordered eating?
In small ways, I have. I feel like, especially with Beachbody, the way that they have their coaches using those like colorful Tupperware boxes
Yep.
to sort out how much food they're putting into their bodies each day. And it's such a tiny box, Tupperware, that it feels like they're not eating anything.
Yeah.
And it's also like encouraging like good versus bad food,
Yep.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
Yep, and that's something I hear consistently, and on again, I know we talk about prove it like every other day, but the fasting that they do where they basically don't eat anything and you do it every single month and oh wait, you have to supplement your fast with products you buy from Prove It. Okay, I see what you're doing, but recommending people not eat for 72 or wait, 24, 36, I don't know how many, a lot of hours.
yeah, I think 72.
72 hours, like, that's a long time, and you're not gonna be under the care of any medical professional? Just your buddy, multi-level marketing independent contractor that you have great feelings about? Okay, that doesn't sound smart. That doesn't oops. Hey, Julie Joe. So, yeah, and so Jessica said, "Wait, those Beachbody containers are your daily food intake, not your meal intake." I yeah, it's
They
great.
separate it out into like what you can eat per like type of food you can eat, I'm pretty sure. Like what's your protein intake, what's your fat intake, that kind of thing per day,
Okay,
if that makes sense. From what I understand after watching a lot of Brianna Jewell, she does a lot of Beachbody content because she is studying to be a registered dietitian, so she's like debunking all of Beachbody's terrible practices. So that's what my understanding is.
cool. Let me see if I have any more questions before we pop up this video. Oh, I keep pausing. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. User error. I'm new. Okay. Tanya
We're
said,
new here.
yeah, we're new. We're both new. Oh, I'm an emotional eater, so if I'm stressed, I eat. I gained 100 pounds with it and certain meds. I'm trying to learn to love the body I have. Cheryl Spears has been encouraging just getting up and moving. Yeah. And if you don't follow Cheryl Spears or Tanya on Instagram, definitely do that. And I've also linked Avery's graphic design anti MLM page. Because I think that page you posted about anti MLM from.
Yeah, it's a lot of like quotes from the anti-MLM
Yeah.
community that I like because I
So
don't really like the really long scripts of text
oh
with
yeah.
video because that just feels weird.
Yeah.
So
No, we appreciate shareable content and all of Avery's is very shareable. So if you're looking for um just those filler things for your stories to get ideas across, follow Avery. She's great for that. Kat said I did pageants and ballet and things that required me to be a certain size growing up, and that caused me and a few friends to develop eating disorders. We were on pro websites and had binders of our inspo. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
those are
tough.
all that's a whole other issue in my brain.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough, and then it's it's a whole adults putting kids in positions that actually harm their health, and that's not okay, in my opinion. I know. My mind is so confused with only one chat. I'm so I don't mean to confuse
Sorry, I
you.
don't have a working YouTube channel right now.
Yeah. We're thinking that she's gonna do that next time so she can be streaming to her channel too and maybe put some
Yeah.
content potentially. We're still I don't wanna push her into something she doesn't wanna do. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to pop up the video, and we may have to take it down. I'm gonna see if I can put the nope. Did not do a darn thing. Okay, I'm gonna play it. This is posted publicly on YouTube, so I assume that everyone is okay because this was posted on YouTube. Now,
It's
everyone in the
posted
chat
publicly on Optavia's YouTube
public
channel.
yes. Yeah. And so, I will just say this live chat. I know we're all adults here. Be on your best behavior. And if you don't know what that means, that's fine. Read the Emily rules in my description below. We're not gonna disparage, bully, or hate. We're just gonna watch this and call out what we see, and that's it.
Please just be respectful.
Yes, yes. Respectful, civil, and that doesn't mean you have to hold your punches in terms of being frustrated with ideas that are being communicated. We just don't attack people on their appearance. We don't diagnose anyone. We don't basically anything that's in the DSM-5, we're not doing it here. So I say this because maybe in the future, somebody not great maybe watch this and do something that's not approved. I know everyone in live chat is great, so I just wanted to say that. And again, if you do struggle with an eating disorder, this video might be triggering. So if that means you need to hop out of the video, that's fine. I'd love for you to come back next time. I want to be respectful and not surprise you with something that could put you in a spiral, and that might happen with this video. So please feel free to exit in the next 10 seconds. I'm going to pull our little logo off for a second because I'll put it back up in a minute. Okay. Alrighty. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
At Optavia, our mission
Sorry, that's loud. Sorry, chat. That was my bad.
is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The following audio contains personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the Optavia community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope these stories inspire you to continue your journey with or join Optavia, but please note that they have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider or doctor prior to beginning your journey with Optavia. Additionally, this audio may contain income or earnings representations of some independent Optavia coaches. The stories shared reflect the unique experience of a very small percentage of Optavia coaches and should not be relied upon by prospective or current Optavia coaches as an indication of what they should expect to earn. We cannot guarantee financial success.
Okay, this is so long. I'm gonna let it keep playing because I think it's important. But I'm so this for sure has been published publicly, and we are responding to it, so it's covered under fair use. And I definitely forgot to play that at the beginning, but it doesn't matter if I do or not. It's covered under fair use, and I will fight any copyright claims that someone's gonna slap us with because we've been commenting on this for the whole time. Okay, play. Oh, geez. Play.
Success with Optavia results from successful sales efforts which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Optavia acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to Optavia coaches in the U.S., Hong Kong, and Singapore. For Optavia coaches operating in the U.S., please see the Optavia Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of U.S. coaches under the U.S. Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent Optavia coaches operating in the U.S. under the U.S. Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan.
So this is a pretty recent, this was from June 8th of this month, I think. And this is pretty recent. Dave Vaughn, I think, sent me this one. And so we're gonna see what they have to say. And again, I think Optavia. I keep wanting to say Optavia because I grew up in Texas, so I'm like Optavia, but it's Optavia.
It just reminds me of Activia, the yogurt.
Yes, it does. Oh my gosh, I'm so gonna mess that up during this call. Okay, let's see.
Hey everyone, welcome to Health and Hope Night. We're so excited to have you here. I don't know if you're a guest, a client, a coach, whoever you are, you're.
And again, just as a reminder, we're going to talk about what we see and what they say. Please refrain from commenting on people's bodies. Even though this is health and wellness, I don't want to inadvertently trigger someone. And I think we can discuss the dangers of Optavia without critiquing people that show up in the video. So I just want to remind that. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to treat you like you're not adults. I'm just trying to be clear with my communication about what what I think is the best way to do this, because it's such a triggering topic in general, and I want to be respectful to the people who are going to be watching this. Okay.
Here tonight with us, and we are just so thankful that you showed up for yourselves and to learn with us.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, Optavia is growing. Our family is growing, right? We're seeing massive momentum in our mission to get the entire world healthy, one person at a time. Tonight, we're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to hear from some amazing speakers. And, we're really going to talk about something that was important for Natalie and I when we started this journey 4 years ago. And that's the mindset side of things, right? We're going to hear a lot of different things from a lot of different people. But the mindset was something that was super important to us, and we're going to cover that tonight.
So excited. I think
the mindset
is something that is so instilled in our heart for change, for true change. And I'm so excited to bring you all that tonight. But who are we? Who's showing up on your screen tonight? So I am Natalie Mirasola. This is Frank Mirasola. We're independent certified health coaches. And I just want to give you a little bit about our background, why we're sitting in these chairs tonight speaking to you, right?
I don't know what I think about people giving their who they are. Obviously, we did it for this video, but we're not selling a product. I'm not selling we're not encouraging people to give us money, which that not necessarily be bad, but I feel like when these situations you get attached to the shiny people who get presented on these calls, and then you feel like, oh yeah, I want to partner with them or I want to be on their team, and it's like the celebrity factor or the popularity factor or the charismatic factor shouldn't fill the holes in the information that's presented for the product. And I don't know how you feel about that, Avery, but
Yeah, I feel similarly. It's also from what we've seen previously in other opportunity calls or learning calls. Most of the time, the people that do share their story at the beginning are higher up, and they're trying to share almost like a sob story to people so
yeah.
that they see how the company has impacted them in a positive way. When there are a lot of other factors behind that, most likely. So it's not good.
Yeah, and it's again, they're trying to hit and connect with those emotional parts of people, and that's a way to communicate. It feels manipulative
They're
because
trying to be relatable, but in a manipulative way, in my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
So I would say about 4 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Just about 4 years ago, Frank and I have always been into health and fitness and nutrition, but lo and behold, 3 babies later, life took over, right? And I know that I'm speaking to many of you tonight with babies at home and chaos, right?
Careers,
home duties. So we lost ourselves big time. And I remember one day I had this wild idea after seeing my sister-in-law for so many years being successful with this program. And it took a lot for me to ask for help, but she awakened us. She awakened us to what was possible.
again, she's using terms that maybe like are sending little like this doesn't sound right in my head, like awakening.
Like, who says awakening?
I don't know. It sure sounds like culty cult language. And and that's fine. I think that it's fair to say some people do feel like it's I can imagine it would be overwhelming to go from not having kids to having kids. My husband and I, we've never been able to have kids, but I grew up with two brothers and two sisters, and like that's a lot of kids for some parents, and so and I can see what they're saying. I just feel like this is the start of, hey, if you hate your career, this is a great opportunity, and I feel like they're laying the foundation for that. And I guess I'm over people shaming other careers to get to promote their opportunity. Like,
Yeah.
what? If everybody was in an MLM, how would our society function? No doctors, no nurses, no lawyers, no engineers, no electricians, no plumbers. Like, I just,
Like, some people like their corporate jobs. Can we just let them be?
yes. Yeah, and to even plant the seed that, hey, your career isn't everything it should be because I've certainly found something better. Like, don't even plant that seed. Leave people alone to enjoy their 9 to 5s or their night shift or whatever it is. Like encourage them in the way like that they've plugged in and are earning a living for themselves. And that's I just don't like I don't even like within multi-level marketing shaming another company to make your own product look better. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, so it just feels slimy. It feels slimy.
I agree.
If we just were more humble in our approach to say we need help, right? So we hopped on program. I actually did our nursing mothers program. I hopped on first. Frank was in the background, hawking and watching.
I was watching.
And I did phenomenal. I was able to still feed the baby. I was able to get back to me. My feet were hitting the floor in the morning. I was waking up a better mom, a better person, a better wife. I had clarity again. I had energy to get out and actually, go do things with the kids instead of dragging my feet. And then I would say about 3 weeks in.
Yeah, I was watching that. I was skeptical, as I'm sure, you've heard other people say before, right? A little bit skeptical. But I saw the results that Natalie was having. But it was more than the results. It was the mindset, right? We talked about that a few seconds ago. I could just see a change in her that was so much more than physical. Natalie was a shy, kind of meek person. But, as she started to get her health back in check, her confidence started to grow. And it was something that I just couldn't stand to not be a part of, right? So I kind of jumped on. Quick story on me, Nat said it best. We were both grew up in a lifestyle of nutrition and fitness, but that's what happens, right? Careers and families and babies, and we kind of tend to put ourselves in the back seat and everything else in the front seat. And then you blink your eyes and 3 years goes by and 35 pounds gets packed on, and you realize that you're not so healthy.
Okay, I'm just gonna state it for the obvious, or maybe if you are still caught up in this idea that you have to look a certain way to quote unquote be healthy, or if you don't meet um, the generic like height to whatever weight ratio, age ratio at the doctor's office, health is a lot more dynamic than categorizing it like he's saying. And I know this can be triggering. It can be upsetting if you're already struggling because there are people that struggle. Like I struggle with how I am. I always have. I've never been like, man, I feel great. And it's just that mental like one of my relatives when I was 11 years old, and I used to live basically outside. I was outside all the time, like riding my bike, like all my siblings, like we played hard outside. And one of my relatives said when I think I was 10, they came to visit and they're like, "Oh, DC, you've lost a lot of weight." I'm 10. I'm 10. So you're a little kid and that sticks in your mind. And yeah,
for sure.
could you work through it in therapy? Yeah, I'm sure I can. It's like a limited thing, but it's something that like you never stop thinking about. And as a kid who never thought about it before, I was a scrawny little kid. You know what I mean? Like that was not. I was not in any like traditional like whatever the world would say is unhealthy, and then it just sunk right into my brain, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. And so
Mhm.
listening to him say like, "Oh, 35 pounds or whatever that is, take it with a grain of salt. They're selling something. They are
Yeah.
selling a product. They're selling an opportunity. So don't get too emotionally invested. That's just my recommendation because they have an ulterior motive for what they're saying." So, just wanted to say that again.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So I jumped on program alongside Nat. It was
Hey, Sonic.
a ton of
Hey,
fun.
Sonic.
We got to do it together. We were
Yeah.
cooking together. Just kind of really brought us closer together. And I was able to lose about 35 pounds in a little over 5 weeks. Kind of got myself back to
Wow, that's
where
fast.
I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I felt confident. My mood was better. All the things that fat burn creates, right? Fast forward a couple of
I'm not sure if it's the
couple of
fat
weeks
burn,
into
but
our
it
journey.
might be the endorphins from the
Yeah,
from the fact that you're losing that weight, the endorphins from that.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly can be, and I'm certain like that there's a mental thing too if you feel like you're making strides in what you find valuable in terms of he probably felt good mentally about losing weight, so that might have added to his mood as well of, like, encouraged and, it's probably a lot more dynamic than just associating everything with Optavia, everything good with Optavia.
Yeah.
That we decided that this
Hey, of
program
course.
was too good to not share with everybody.
Yes, Jessica is
And we decided to start coaching, and it was the greatest
Wow,
decision that we
that's
ever
fast.
made.
Greatest decision for our family, and we're super thankful for Optavia. It allowed us to pay forward in this mission to others that were sitting at our table that we held so close to our heart that needed health. And it was so much fun to coach them, still coaching tons of people today, and to watch them fully transform with the whole habits of health transformational system, mind.
So this little disclaimer at the top says Optavia makes no guarantees of financial success, which I appreciate that they are putting this on here. They have gotten into big trouble in the past. The subsidiaries of Medifast have gotten into huge trouble. So I think they're pretty hardcore about putting these disclaimers up here, which I appreciate. I wish that they would include it while they're talking to, but I can't get everything, but I am going to say I appreciate that there's a disclaimer here.
I wish the reps would keep that disclaimer though.
Yeah, and here's a funny thing. Here, it's not really funny. So in Young Living, or even in Prove It, let's say Prove It, when they post the before and afters of their shots of like, here's what I was doing with my life before Prove It, and here's what my body looks like after, they're supposed to put a disclaimer in their captions or on their picture. And they do not across the board. Jessie Lee Ward doesn't do it. A lot of people on her team don't do it, and it's in direct violation of their brand agreement or their independent contractor agreement. So if you are, why is that being hidden? Is it because the independent consultant force is so large they cannot be corrected by the parent company? Maybe. Is it because people are not getting training? Maybe. Is it
Most
not fun?
likely.
Yeah, is it not fun putting those disclaimers on? Sure isn't. But they need to. It's
It
important.
keeps people safe.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Body, finances, all of it, right? And we're definitely going to speak to that.
We're going to talk
tonight.
about that tonight.
Yeah, super excited to bring you guys that trilogy tonight. But let's have a little bit of fun. Moving on, which answer best describes you?
Oh,
Are you a guest
Shannon.
here tonight joining us? Are you an Optavia client? Are you an Optavia client in Hong Kong and Singapore? So happy to have you guys here if you're watching too. Independent Optavia coach.
Yeah.
Are you an independent Optavia coach?
Can you pause it?
In Hong Kong and Singapore?
It's like they put so much pressure on moms who just had a baby. They're birthing a child that could be 8 pounds or more.
Yeah.
Granted, they could also be less than that, but most of the time it's more.
Yep.
They're birthing that big of something. Of course, they're going to gain weight. there shouldn't be a pressure on that to like lose it so quickly after giving birth.
Yeah, they grew a whole freaking human for 9 months, and then they're struggling to reacclimate their hormones after they've given birth. They pushed a whole human out of their body. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's tough to do, and there's a lot of trauma that goes on and tearing and all this other stuff that goes on when you have a baby, and then to put that pressure and saying, "Oh, you know what? Growing a human, not enough. You need to grow a human and look like a Barbie at the end of it. No, thank you. Bring her
European
a sandwich."
standards, I swear.
Yeah. Bring her a sandwich, be nice to her, and stop saying like, "Oh, how come you don't look like you did before?" Well, you got a kid out of it. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
It's so I don't know. And society continues to perpetuate this idea with magazines, with sharing stories about and again, if you want to if that's important to you, that's fine. Do it for the reasons that are important to you, not succumbing to the pressure from other people's expectations.
exactly.
You know?
And they're busy raising that human as well, as Kat
Yeah,
says in the chat.
yeah. Um, exactly. They're keeping a human alive. Like, give them a break. Give them a
Another
break.
human along with themselves.
Yeah, they're keeping 2 humans and maybe even more if they have more kids. And, it's like, give moms a freaking break. Yeah. Yep. And so she's saying that Optavia has this nursing program, so like you can lose weight and still not lose your milk supply. Gosh, that I don't even know what that's gonna look like. I guess we're gonna have to do a deep dive and
That's
find it.
scary.
That's scary for sure. Come on, play.
Singapore. So go ahead right now. If you're watching live, take this poll. If you're watching a playback on YouTube or in our archives, so to say, right? Then just drop that in the chat. We'd love to know who is watching with us tonight. And
Us,
we are
Lucy and
grateful
Avery.
that you all are here.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the agenda tonight. I told you before, mindset, right? Such a huge and important factor for Natalie and I, and for many other clients and coaches that we know. What is mindset?
They need to normalize that it's okay if your body changes once you've given birth. Yep, I think that's really fair.
It's really just being
Absolutely.
awakened to the secrets of lifelong transformation, right? There's so much more than just the physical, right? Physical, listen, we can get the weight off, but it's all about your mind. That's where the sustainability comes, the longevity comes, right? We really reinforce that with all of our clients, right? We work in
Average weight loss on the optimal weight 5-in-1 plan is 12 pounds. Clients are in weight loss on average for 12 weeks. They had to change this because they got in big trouble back in 2012. They said you could lose 2 to 5 pounds per week doing their 5-in-1 or whatever the plan was in
That's
MedFast.
scary.
So they had to change it, and look, they've changed it to say 1 pound per week, which is a lot better. But
also, is it true?
yeah, but they got slapped. They have to do every time they make a claim, they have to do a clinical trial. Now, that's one of the things they got in trouble for with the court. So that's good, but that's a lot better than 5 pounds per week. That's a lot better.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like, yay, go Optavia. I'm saying like, thank God they're still following the rules of
Like they were forced to do this.
Yeah, exactly. On computer.
skill set. I mean, learn how to decide to move forward in your health from people who have successfully created it, right? So listen, the playbook has been written, right? Both as a client or as a coach, right? The playbook's been written. People have come before us, they've blazed the path, right? The skill set and the action steps needed they're already there, right? It's very simple. It's a model. We follow it and it works.
Duplicatable.
So the action steps are simple, and they
That
help you
word
to move
doesn't
forward
sound
in
like
your
a word
journey
to me
optimal
anymore.
health. And that's going to be part of our agenda tonight.
Can't wait. This is Frank
It's exciting.
and I's most favorite kind of presentation to bring to everybody, because without the mindset piece, nothing will ever change, right? We have to peel back that onion, and I can't wait to talk to you about peeling back onions in a few minutes. That's my favorite phrase. So let's move on. So Dr. Wayne Anderson, who is he?
So Dr. Wayne Anderson, we call him Dr. A. I'm sure many of you know it. So Dr. A, how do I put this, right? So we had the opportunity to meet Dr. A in person a couple of months ago up in Sundance, Utah. And it was the first time we had gotten to meet him.
Utah.
And
of course,
I'll be honest with you, I was intimidated. I think you were too.
So a lot of multi-level marketing companies are headquartered in Utah because the state has friendly laws for running the multi-level marketing businesses in Utah. If you're ever wondering why that's the case, that's why it is. And yeah, so that's why. I mean, but they said they're in Maryland, but I'm not sure why. A lot of people do stuff in Utah anyway for multi-level marketing companies, but there's a ton.
They can get around laws there.
Yeah, or the people there have said, hey, the representatives who get voted in, we want these kind of laws written. We support multi-level marketing companies. Because think about this, the factories, like the people doing the shipping for the products, like those are actual traditional jobs. So like I'm sure that it brings a lot of work to the state. Because someone has to work the warehouses, someone has to send out the stuff, someone has to answer the phone when someone's pissed about customer service problems. So like they're probably providing a lot of jobs for people, actual jobs. And then on the other end, the independent contractors are potentially losing a lot of money, and they're suffering potential, and this is my opinion, they could be suffering long-term or short-term side effects from this program. I certainly suffered a lot of health stuff from when I was at Medifast, and that's my experience, so that's why I'm speaking to it.
A little bit, right? I mean, just take a look at the credentials that Dr. A has, right? He was the valedictorian of his medical class. He was trained in open heart surgery at the Cleveland Clinic. I mean, the man has done it all, right? He was the department chair of anesthesiology for 18 years, worked in surgical critical care. I mean, what's not to be intimidated, right? He's the co-founder of our brand, right? So when we met him, I was absolutely floored at how just sweet and humble the man is.
I'm sorry I'm pausing it so much. This is that same thing about using someone's credibility because they are certified in their field to fill any gaps or any questions that you would have about the product. Just because someone's a doctor does not mean the product works. Just because a doctor endorses something, or a celebrity endorses something, or a nurse leads a group of like a detox group does not mean that is going to work, or that is a smart idea. Or just because a doctor's associated with it doesn't mean that it's safe to do under the care and direction of an independent contractor.
And Jessica says in the chat that Dr. A is a general surgeon, not a dietitian.
Yep. And they don't even have the same amount of training that dietitians have to do this. Like one of my friends had to study for almost a year to get her dietitian. Like you have to do all this math. You have to your knowledge has to be so like intense, and it's hard to get your and you have to do it state by state. You can't practice in one state if you don't have it. So if you're in the military and you are a registered dietitian, you have to take the test in every state that you move to, which is crazy. So, but that's a really good point, Jessica.
He bleeds this mission, right? It is not about anything but getting this entire world healthy, one person at a time. It's his mission in life, right? And he's just kind of blazed that path, brought us all along for the ride, and we could not be thankful enough for him.
Yeah.
Dr. A is a tremendous man, and we just couldn't be more thankful.
Yeah, and his whole mission here had started, because he was working in critical care, saving all of the sick people. And, he had said to himself, what if we can have proactive things to offer these people instead of always being reactive?
Okay, and again, on my channel, I try to point out things that sound good and the other stuff they're saying that doesn't sound as good. Because when I was still in and drinking all of the tea of believing all this stuff in multi-level marketing, it was really hard to process listening to multi-level marketing creators skip over things that didn't necessarily fit the narrative, and it took me longer to even listen to what they had to say, because I was like, well, that does sound good, or that part is true, or that part, is meaningful. And doctors wanting to be proactive in treating someone before they get to the point of having to have critical, like, surgery is a big deal. It's very traumatic on the body, and him wanting to treat people beforehand, that's a good idea. You know what I mean? Like, am I sad that it manifested itself? Oh my gosh, manifested. Am I sad that the idea ended up in multi-level marketing? Sure am. But does it make sense that, like, if you take care of yourself, or if you try to, or if you try to nourish yourself with, if you even have access to good foods, because not everyone does, sure, that does make a lot of sense. So I want to be fair, and I don't think it takes away from Avery and my position that we're not big fans of multi-level marketing when we say, like, that does make sense. Him wanting to, like, take a preemptory strike, whatever it's called. Preemptive
Preemptive. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. I know. It slipped out. I couldn't help it. I listened to so much of multi-level marketing, like Zoom calls. It crept in.
Sometimes it's just the easiest word you can find.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I just need a shirt that's like manifested, just like crossed out. Like, maybe Avery can make a shirt or something.
I
Oh
can.
my God.
Yeah.
Which here we are today, Optavia.
We're supposed to believe everything because he's a doctor.
Yeah. And Dr. A, obviously he created the life book, right? The Habits of Health book. And again, going back to that mindset piece, right? A huge part of this for him is making sure that once we get these clients to that healthy BMI, right? We don't want to see them again.
Okay, BMI
right?
is
Unless they're
bullshit.
coaches and they're going to partner with us.
It is. It totally is. It is.
Sorry, I just had to point that out.
Yep.
Like, going off of BMI, complete BS.
Yep. And again, and if your muscle mass is different than the standard, it completely throws all those numbers off. And it's just, and again, you're going to take something complicated like a whole human being and put it under the care of an unlicensed independent contractor and say, like, yes, this person, you're going to be able to direct and help do all of the Optavia stuff with them. That doesn't sound smart. You know what I mean? It just doesn't sound like a smart idea.
Yep.
And change the world, but we don't want to see them coming back, with that weight gained, right? Feeling the way they did on day one when they started program. So he's a huge proponent of preventative versus reactive and longevity, sustainability.
No one can predict how long you are going to live, but research suggests that making an overall lifestyle change by taking an active role in your choices and behavior, including losing weight. This is the longest sentence of all time. Eating healthier, moving more, and reducing stress has the potential to help you live a longer, healthier life.
I mean, sure, but you can do that outside of an MLM.
Yep. You don't have to pay extra for it. That's for sure.
Your health, right? And we agree with everything that he stands for.
Yeah, he's an amazing man.
Absolutely.
So let's look at some statistics, guys.
Yeah. So worldwide, obesity has nearly tripled since 1975. It's scary, right? When you kind of look around and listen.
Has it actually tripled? Because is that taking into account the increase in the population? That's what I want to know. You know what I mean? Because it's not
like, where is this statistic coming from? Can we see the source?
Yes, exactly. Can we see the source?
We do it. Like, we have family, friends. We go out and we kind of see people and we just want this for them, right? We just know that this is the answer to their health, right? This is something.
I don't think that I would be super stoked about hanging around people knowing that they're going to be going on and talking like this and saying, like, I'm the person that they want this for. You know what I mean? Like, that you're going to hang around people that have an ulterior motive, or they're just thinking like, hey, you sure you don't want to get healthy? Are you sure you don't want to get healthy? Just leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Like, I'm fine on my own. Thank you.
Yeah. Like, come on.
Something that can benefit everybody. As far as the American statistics go, Almost 31% of adults with partners report that money is a major source of conflict in their relationship, right? Approximately a third of Americans report delaying significant purchases because of debt. I mean, guys, listen, there's no more relevant conversation nowadays than finances, right?
Oh my. I did a live last night, and I'm only saying this because Holton Bugs of iBoomerang said that he supplemented his $1,500 a month inventory with his regular job, and he was buying $1,500 a month in inventory. He was
That's
only
crazy.
making $500. So I think that he was at a loss of $1,000. So he had to supplement that for 7 years. Who has no one some people don't have extra income to cover that loss. And should they have to when they could be doing a different job? They could be driving Uber. They could be
They could be doing legitimate things to make actual money instead of like actual profit rather than
Right.
losing money.
Yeah, without the potential risk of whatever, you know what I mean? Like I don't it's just making me mad. So I'm like, I can't speak anymore. Let's
What
just
is his actual job?
Yes.
We're all seeing things that are happening with the stock market, the prices of fuel, prices of goods, right? Shortages on things.
Preying on people.
It's a crazy time that we're in right now, right? Natalie and I are really thankful for Optavia because not only has it helped us avoid all of the physical statistics that you see here, but it's helped us to avoid a lot of those financial ones as well.
Yeah, working really, really hard and building our dreams, not somebody else's, and being able to
You're building Optavia's dream. You are contributing to their bottom line. Every time that you purchase volume from the company, they make a profit. I don't know how to I explain that. Like she's saying she's not contributing to someone else's dream, and that's not the case.
You're contributing to the CEO of Optavia.
Yes.
survive, I think the climate that we're in the United States alone, right? So some pretty wild statistics, but you know, with Optavia, with paying this mission forward, the trilogy, healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances, not only has changed our life, but has changed some of the leaders that you're going to speak to tonight, some of our guests that we've brought in. So, you know, that being said, the habits of health in your life book, the mindset, this is what I kind of call peeling back the onion. Dr. A had created this entire system. Instead of just saying, here's one component, he's giving us all the things, right? So to dive into the life book, the fuelings are one piece of our program, and we're going to speak about that.
So they're saying that, hey, our program isn't that dangerous because we're creating a whole health system, even though the fuelings, you can buy all of the packaged stuff. Healthy finances, no, not when your food is so dang expensive.
Exactly.
Yep.
The onion, right? Because if we're not peeling back those layers in your life book, we'll probably return to day one again, right? If we're not understanding the emotional eating, the behavioral eating, the addictive foods, the climate within your environments that you're in, right? That you're setting up for yourself.
Hitting all of the vulnerabilities.
Things won't change.
Emotional control, thought control, information control. We're just ticking all the boxes
for ourselves, because this book is what has allowed us 4 years later to maintain where we are in our health, and to always be in the now of what is best going to serve our bodies, ourselves, our families, right?
They're good sales.
And awesome app that goes along with this. You can track all the things, your water, your fuelings, everything is in one tight knit little spot. So check that out if you haven't already. So element 1, this is my favorite, being clear on your why. This is something that I'm very passionate about, that I review with all of my clients when they get started on program.
I love element 1.
I usually have you guys dive into that right after day 4 for our week 1. And we kind of talk about why we're here. It's so important. And element 1 is the pathway to your journey, right? Your why is your highest stimulus for change, right? It can't just run surface level. It has to run deep.
I don't know if I necessarily want to tell my coach my why.
Like, that's none of your business, coach.
Yeah, I just like, where are the boundaries? Like, I don't want someone that I'm doing quote unquote business with, or in this situation where I'm buying a very expensive product, to know every single thing about my life, to manipulate that information to keep me in longer. I'm not
No.
really for that.
Like, as Aaron B says, you don't need to tell anybody your goals unless you want to.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Really has to run deep, and that's that highest stimulus.
Here-
What is going to drive you into action? Why are you here? What is going to drive you on those really hard days, right? Where emotional things can start to take over. What is your why? How is it going to inspire you to grow and be better? Create that whatever it takes mindset. I remember we had that whatever it takes mindset.
Oh,
We
yeah.
still have
We're all
it
hungry
today,
now,
but,
Melissa.
how cool is it to do
I'm
it
glad I had
alongside
food
my
before
husband
this.
here? And
Yes.
this is what we teach to our clients. It's that whatever it takes because of X, Y, and Z, whether it's going outside with your kids and getting some fresh air and being able to run, whether it's walking up a flight of steps, whether it's waking up with mental clarity again, whether it's being able to go on an amusement ride and be able to have that moment with your family.
Yeah, it's really simple, right? I say this to all of my clients. Following this program without a clearly defined why, right, is kind of like having a GPS with no final destination, right? Meaning you can just you could say, take me here, and it'll kind of take you all over the place. But where does it end, right? So that final destination is that why. It's the thing that's going to kind of keep you driving forward, right? You always want to keep yourself laser focused on it. And it's the thing that's going to get you through the tougher times, right? Program is not hard. It's not impossible, but
It's not hard and it's not impossible. So which one is it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the terms he's using make it seem like it probably is hard to go from eating whatever amount of calories people are eating now to eating under 1,000 or 1,000 or 1,200, whatever it is. I mean, that kind of drop, it seems like that would be hard for some people. And so I'm starting to say, like, you're leaving a lot out. And I've worked with a registered dietitian before, and it's a lot different than trying to outline your why to make sure you're motivated. It's more about education, about fueling your body in a healthy way. And a lot of it is, hey, you need to eat more food. You need to eat more food. You need to eat more food. And
Your
let's put
body
it
needs a
together.
certain amount of calories to even function properly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yep, and it's like, and let's take baby steps. Let's not be extreme. Let's not, like, and it, all of this stuff gets kind of go. And again, there's lots of different dietitians out there. There's lots of different certified nutritionists, but what they're saying is, like, it seems like they're already going in for the thought and the emotional and information control about reorienting, like, your good and bad emotions and, like, what it's going to look like. And and just red flag. Oh.
there are times, right, where it gets a little rough, right? Old habits start to creep back in. And if we can kind of get laser focused and we have that why, right, as that, that driving force, it just really keeps us on course, right, for our destination.
For sure. And I always have my clients, after we write this down and we journal it, here's a great thing for you guys. And I know it's mentioned in element 1 as well, but put that on a Post-it note, stick it to your mirror in your bathroom, stick it on your car dashboard, wherever you have to stick it, where you are going to visually see that. I always say the moment you rise, because that sets the affirmation, reading that affirmation each day, it sets the tone for your entire day. I am going to do this today because of X, Y, and Z, right? So I love visuals. I don't know about you guys, but
I mean, Avery and I are both visual people. I think that we were like we were like going back and forth and being like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, well, I can't really explain it, but I'll draw you a picture. And she's like, I love pictures. So, like, I appreciate that, but it feels like putting all these notes everywhere, you're keying into that thought control, those thought stopping techniques. And yeah, I can imagine that changing your habits can be hard. I feel a very, like, tentative about all the information being presented because they're selling something. They're in a multi-level marketing company. They're all of the words over here are a little red flaggy to me, and I kind of have my backup like, what are we about to hear next? Because this is, and you may be listening to this and you don't understand like why we're saying this is a red flag. Look at the bite model on Stephen Hassan's website. Hopefully stay plugged in and listen to the end of this video. We're not saying that changing how you eat or trying to be healthier and whatever you want that to look like is a bad thing. We're saying that, hey, this is really expensive and there's no licensed dietitian or not licensed nutritionists or registered dietitians involved in the care of the people who sign up for this. It's all a plug and play thing. And if someone runs into an issue, who's going to help you with that? An unlicensed independent contractor. That seems worrisome to me. And it's freaking expensive. So there's just a whole cluster of things that say like, let's take a step back.
So you're paying for a starter pack and for someone who's not certified to tell you what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and pay a premium for it. Great. Happy. Okay, got it.
It seems worth it, right?
Yes, exactly.
Super powerful when the impulsive mind kind of wants to lead, where we have to kind of pull back and bring that rational mind back in, right? So, here is just like a quick example of, how you can write down your why and journal it. I'm changing and focused on improving my health well-being because, right? Everybody has their own because. I want my husband to be proud of me. I want to look and feel healthier. I want to be a great example of health to my grandkids.
I want my husband to be proud of me.
You should already be proud of you.
I mean, everyone has a different level of health with their partner and like how that is, but I will tell you, them being proud of you, it should not have something to do with your physical capabilities or how you physically look. And if someone is holding that over your head, I'm not going to get in the middle of anybody's relationship, but I'm not going to say but. I'm not going to get in the middle of anybody's relationship. That doesn't seem like a healthy perspective if you are doing all this for someone else. Your health should be for you, and it shouldn't it doesn't seem like it should lay with what someone else says, like to be proud. I don't know. I don't know how to articulate that, Avery, but something seems off about.
Yeah, Melissa says you birthed his offspring. He should be worshiping at your feet, and I agree.
Yeah, let's just leave that up. That's our answer. Melissa, you get to say everything the way that I'm trying to say it.
I love that.
When in doubt, Melissa has our back.
Monkey do, right? I know with our 3 children in our home, what we do is what they mirror. So we want to be setting that tone for them. And I love that this person put that.
I love that for you, Tanya. That's awesome.
So, the habits of health system, it's just one component. We have 4. And I know you guys know we have 4 if you're a client here or you're a coach, right? And that's the independent Optavia coach. That's the habits of health transformational system, the Optavia community.
I wonder what they whited out on there. Doesn't it look like they covered something up and they brought the white box up too high? You see the Optavia? You see how it's cutting off the words?
Oh.
I wonder if there was something on this slide that wasn't appropriate and then they didn't.
Oh no.
I don't know. Why did they do that? If you're a graphic designer, don't do that and then publish this to your page.
Which he loves, and he's going to talk all things about that right now.
That's
and the Optavia fuelings.
Yeah, I mean, for me, right, my favorite by far, and we heard Pat Schatzline talk, not too long ago, and he's a great guy, right? So I'm in good company with him because my favorite is the community. I say it all the time to our team. I say it all the time to Natalie. There's certain things that you cannot replace, right? And the types of people, the types of friendships that we have made through this wonderful journey is something that can never be replaced, right? And I say it all the time in that the community is what keeps Natalie and I going through the tougher times, right? We work really, really hard in our business. But it's those tough times that, our community rallies around us. I remember not too long into our coaching journey, my mom had passed away, and the support we had gotten from our coaches, it was just unbelievable, right? And
I take issue with someone bringing in the death of a family member to expound the benefits of the community within a group that you have to pay to be a part of. I just, manipulating that and saying how great the community is, and a community can keep you in a bad situation longer. The reason that I didn't leave Young Living for such a long time is because I didn't want to let down the people that I had become friends with, and I'm still like, I haven't talked to any of them since I left. I've talked to maybe one person, and I don't have bad feelings towards them. I'm incredibly sad that I don't talk to them anymore. And it's also hard for people still in the MLM to sometimes associate with those who have left. They can't overcome the difference in opinion about that. And I understand that. I can still be sad about that. But if you're in a community that's keeping you somewhere longer, if you said, if I wasn't a part of this community, would I have left already? And if the answer is yes, the community is not worth staying for. And I understand loneliness can be a huge thing. And I'm not trying to lessen that desire to like be a part of something, but a community shouldn't keep you in an unhealthy place longer, and it can keep you in kind of a harmful situation longer. So just take that with a grain of salt. I'm not trying to force you to make a decision. Just think about it. Just think about it.
It was that community again that kind of really kept us driving forward, and gets us through those times when things get a little bit rough.
Absolutely. So, you have your coach, they're there for accountability to drive you forward the entire way. I think this is such a key integral part. You have your habits of health system where you're working on your mindset. You have the community, which is like,
sorry, I keep pausing it. It's just how it is. So Charlene said the relationships are so conditional, and I think that's part of it. I think sometimes it's intentional. I think sometimes it's unintentional with the way the bite model is, when you're kind of seeing, if you're trying to tell if the group you're a part of is more cult-like than not. Sometimes the way that people in those multi-level marketing companies have villainized those who disagree with the business model, that when people leave, you're suddenly in this category that they've already built up in their mind, that people who have left are those people who don't agree with the model, and you're not supposed to have negative people in your life. So I'm wondering if it's an unintentional, like it's automatic, they're filed away in that negative folder. And I wonder if it's sometimes obviously it's intentional. I get that, but I wonder if it's that mind control part of it, that undue influence part, where they've already built up this unknown figure of someone who disagrees with the model, and that's why a lot of those relationships get cut off. I wonder. What do you think, Avery?
It makes sense what you're saying, and it's always bothered me that way. Like, I talk to nobody that like, I don't talk to my upline from It Works. I don't talk to my upline from MCA. Like, it's just, I kind of saw it before it happened that I wouldn't be talking to them ever again once I left. And I kind of just like left quietly and never spoke to them again.
Yeah. And there were so many of my own boundaries that got crossed that I asked specifically for them not to be crossed when I was in multi-level marketing. It makes me nervous about re-engaging sometimes, that there was no consideration for telling someone, I don't want to do the business opportunity. Please don't ask me again. Please don't ask me again. Fully realizing like I was in a very like heavy part of my life, and like mentally heavy. Like I was trying to get medicated. I was trying to go to therapy. I was trying to like get out of this like dark spot. And then they still said, oh, if you only put a little bit of attention into promoting this online, you'd be so good at it. And it's just like, you don't give a flying flippity flop about me, because if you did, you would have listened to me.
It's another example of how they think that no doesn't mean no. It means not right now, just in a different context.
Yeah. And if you've ever had your boundaries crossed in a traumatic way, you would not subscribe to the idea that no means not right now. No means no. And you don't bring it up again until the person maybe gives you permission, or they never will. Don't bring it up again. And I'm not trying to, it's just, I don't know. And if you've never been in a traumatic situation, you might not feel the same, like, oh, well, you're just overreacting. No, you have some empathy and realize that some people, when they say no, it's hard enough to say no the first time, And
it's so hard for me to say no. And when I do say no, it's no.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a family you never knew you needed. And you have the fuelings that are just proven results. So these 4 components, guys, they're gold. So which 4 of these components are most valuable to you? Is it the habits of health transformational system? Is it the coach? Is it the community? Is it the fuelings? So again, if you're watching live, please take this poll. We'd love to see what component you guys are most keened in on, right? And if
I like how they only
watching
have
that
the
playback,
question
just
up
throw
there,
in
but
the
they don't have the actual like selections that they can choose.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to choose from?
Yeah, I love that, like, doing a live with another graphic designer, or like, this slide doesn't make this slide does
I mean,
not
it makes sense, but it doesn't have the full context there.
Yes. Yeah, I know. It's just like, you missed some parts. You need some more here. You need to add more parts to this. And it's like, what
I might
about
get a little nitpicky, but
yeah, that's okay. I mean, we're both graphic designers. I get it. And it's just nice to know that someone else thinks about stuff like that.
chat, we're checking those too. You guys are just as special to us. So select all that apply to you.
We're glad you got out, Sonic.
So that being said, we have our first guest tonight, independent certified Optavia coach, Melissa Laboa. And Melissa is very
how much you want to bet she's
going
gonna have a sad story?
We were complete strangers that connected via social media. And here she is today, 130 pounds down on her journey. And I thought there was nobody better to share her story with us today about healthy body and really speak from her heart about what Optavia has given to her. So take it away, Melissa.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Natalie and Frank, for having me. So yes, Natalie is correct. We were complete strangers, and now she is one of my closest friends. I hold her near and dear to my heart. I started my Optavia journey in October of 2019.
So 2019, and this is now in 2022, because this was done on June 8th.
Okay.
But my journey actually started 2 years prior to that.
Okay,
I became very ill overnight. I was fine 1 minute, and the next minute I wasn't. I had to go through 2 years of surgeries, extended hospital stays, 30 days in an ICU, very close to dying on 3 occasions. And then 2 years of just constant health issues. And none of those issues were related to my weight, but the recovery was definitely hindered by my weight. And having to go through this for 2 years of being sedentary, I wasn't allowed to really participate in anything. I was eating food that was soft and easily digestible for 2 years, which really, relates to potatoes and pasta and everything like that. And it was just a very tough 2 years. In September of 2019, my doctor finally, gave me the go ahead to start living my life again and being able to,
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say one thing. If you've had a health issue and you're just trying to stay alive, I don't think you should be shamed for what it takes to stay fed and stay hydrated. And yes, is that going from physically, like, if you're at a specific weight and you gain a lot, like, that can be tough just on what your body's used to. But it's I don't know. I'm so like sad for her story because to go from um being mostly fine and then overnight having all these issues and having to do surgery and having to recover, like that's a lot. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel really bad for her.
I have a lot of empathy for her because I have a friend who had a very similar situation after she got COVID.
Yeah.
So it's very saddening to see that somebody took advantage of that for her.
Yeah, and she, she did want to be able to lose weight, and so she thought, I guess Optavia did that. I mean, she's the one that did all the work for it. She's the one
Exactly.
that stayed with the program. She's the one that ate the food to lose however much weight that she ended up losing. So I just want to be, I don't know.
It's sad.
It is sad, but to like even put the pressure on, it's that same thing of like her being able to just remain alive is a win.
Yes.
And then to put the pressure on that, okay, well, I'm alive, but I'm not in the right state that I'm supposed to be in. Like, that's a lot of pressure. Like, you don't need to put that on yourself.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just makes me sad overall.
Yeah.
Socialize and going out, and my girlfriends and they took me to the wineries for Labor Day weekend, and somebody snapped a photo and posted it on social media, and I was horrified by what I had seen, because even though I look at myself in the mirror, I had not seen how big I had become and how much weight I had put on and how unhealthy I had become. So I had really escalated, my weight had escalated to 280 pounds, which was the heaviest I had ever been. So I knew I needed to do something. And Natalie, I had seen her posts on social media. We had a few mutual friends in common, but we had never met, we had never spoken. But I finally got the courage to reach out to her, and she instantly made me feel safe and secure with her. And I was skeptical. She'll be the first one to tell you that. I had tried everything under the sun. So all I was thinking was, this is too good to be true. But Natalie got me past all of that, and I placed that first order, and I started on October.
I placed that first order.
Okay. This story bothers me so much because I relate so hard to what she's saying, of like feeling like what you post on social media like terrifies you in a way.
Yeah.
Like it's not what you think you look like, and then you see what you look like and you're like, fuck.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh.
And it's just like life is too short, and it's too short to I mean, I have the same thing of being very unhappy with how I look in pictures, and then after my mother-in-law passed away in 2018, it's like life's too short not to take the picture, and life's too short to get wrapped up in and not go over that speed bump of like wishing that nobody saw me in a picture. That it's like I want to remember the times that I get to go on trips with people, and when we used to travel, and it's like, and it's still hard to even look at them, but it's just like I want to remember these when I'm older for sure.
Mhm.
And it's like, and it is like it's a whole thing. And this type of company preys on, I think, people like you and me, Avery, that like that have that thought, because that's where it starts. And then it's like, well, what's the solution? Well, please don't join a multi-level marketing company. Please
You
don't.
can do it in a much healthier way.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Why am I craving a BLT? I don't know. We should have had a snack while we were watching the
Go have a BLT right now.
Yes. Have one for us.
1st of 2019, and by Thanksgiving I was down almost 30 pounds, and that was because of the structure and the fuelings. The fuelings were delicious, number one. Number two, it was so easy to just stay on track and have something to grab and go. And then you have Natalie, who just was my mentor, my coach. She was there for me every question I had, anytime I had it. So by Thanksgiving, I was down 30 pounds. And then I said, all right, well, we're going to hit the holiday season. Well, I lost another 10 pounds between Thanksgiving and New Year's, which happens to be my birthday. So with all of that thrown in, I was still down another 10 pounds. And it just kept going from there. With all of the fuelings, you have so many choices. You never get bored. You've got the community, which is just outstanding. In addition to the health coach, you have people truly wanting you to succeed, nobody wanting to see you fail, and everybody is there to support you. And then the life book, you just holding on to that why, keeping it going. And next thing I knew, I was down 130 pounds, which wasn't even my goal to start. I was just trying to get some of this weight off. I never even thought that that was attainable, let alone would happen in the time frame that it happened. So
they specifically got in trouble for talking about how much you could lose in a specific time period, and they're having someone talk about how much they lost in such a short time period. And yeah, they have this little disclaimer at the top, but they've gotten in trouble for this in the past. And it's that same thing, and it's encouraging that same idea that you can this plan is associated with losing an incredible amount of weight in a short period of time. And I find that dangerous, especially if you're plugging people into the care of an independent contractor who's not licensed and isn't a registered dietitian. I've got questions.
I have a lot of questions.
People started to notice, obviously, it was a tremendous amount of weight. And I said, you know what? This is just so life-changing that I want to do this for other people. So I signed on to be a health coach myself, and it has been the most amazing decision. The coaching aside has held me accountable. It has helped me to stay on program, to maintain the weight loss, and just my whole life has changed. Physically, mentally. I was very shy. I would never post
I feel
picture
like
on
this is
social media.
a lot to tell people who don't know you.
Yeah, and I don't know if that is. I wonder if that's a technique for getting people to trust you or to. Yeah, she doesn't look comfortable, and there could be a myriad of reasons. She might just not be comfortable speaking on a public platform. It might just be again uncomfortable, like speaking over a screen, trying to remember her points, wanting to feel like she's trying to make a good impression for her upline. It could be a lot of different things. So
now I do live cooking videos on Facebook.
Oh, never mind.
I have a YouTube channel, and things have it's just amazing.
I don't know what her blink rate is, and I know I'm obsessed with the behavior panel, so it's just interesting to watch her do the hard blinks, when she's talking about the different points she's trying to make, and then and it might be a stress thing, because they said that when you blink a lot, it could be a sign of stress or but I don't know what her blink rate is, so I'm just this is interesting, and this is interesting.
What this program has given me. And, again, Natalie started out as a stranger and became my coach, and then a mentor, and now she's my family. And has everybody else in this community. It's just been the most amazing thing I have ever found and had the opportunity to be a part of. And I'm just so thankful and grateful and proud to everybody. So thank you, Natalie.
Oh, thanks, Melissa. You're going to make me cry.
We love you.
Love you guys.
Really powerful to see that when you took all four components, right? That coach component, the community, the habits of health, and the fuelings, what truly has transpired in a short period of time, right? So, and it is so awesome to watch you now lead others to health and pay this mission forward, because this mission is so much bigger than all of us, and we need all hands on deck to get the world healthy, right? But I think now we have some poll results in, so
we do. Let's see them. All right, so it looks like right now, wow, we are pretty much, it's just about a dead heat, right? So tons of votes for the Optavia coach. whole bunch for the community. It is looking like it is
Where's the poll?
kind of ramping up here to be
don't
almost
see
a tie
anything.
at this point. But let's see those keep coming in and see where we land.
All right. Love it. So we had our poll results, the trilogy wheel.
Oh, they cut it
I
out. Come
love
on.
the trilogy.
Loves the trilogy.
Right.
wheel.
So listen, the trilogy it's this, right? It's very simple. It's the three things that really kind of make up what we're all about, right? It's healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances. So
no.
I always
No. Nope. Absolutely not. I mean, it could be a thing, but they're using this specifically to funnel people into their business opportunity.
Yep.
So, okay. All right. I have an issue with like creating your own like truth to better sell an opportunity to someone instead of saying, hey, this is how this works. And I think our stuff fits into it. They've made their own their own rules for stuff. Physical activity, healthy eating. Dang. Okay. All right. Play. Come on.
us off. Maybe they flip us the bird. I don't know. I'm like, that guy needs Optavia in his life, right? Maybe you get a customer service rep from the store on the phone who's just having a bad day and is super nasty. I'm like, she needs Optavia in her life, right? Optavia, I believe, can be the answer to most things. Okay. I won't say all, but most, right? So we focus on healthy body, right? Getting to that healthy BMI, potentially, avoiding future disease, right? Those are the things that we do with healthy body.
Sure
healthy
does.
mind, it's just as important, right? Because
don't even
and it kind of happens
things like that. I should
Do not bring Lord of the Rings into this.
No, they probably need you to not try to sell them Optavia. Yep.
Exactly.
Together, guys. I did program 4 years ago, right? As my body got healthier, my mind got healthier, right? You start to feel better. You have more clarity, right? Working in that life book, right? It's like program for your mind, right? You start learning a lot about yourself. You start understanding the things that got you to day one in the first place, right? And then the healthy finances. When Natalie and I decided to become health coaches, I'll be quite honest with you, money was not a driving force for us. We decided to become health coaches because we wanted to hold ourselves accountable and because we were so impressed by the program that we wanted to share this with everybody.
They just said that money was not a driving force for us. So could that mean that they both had really great jobs and they were able to supplement their coaching business with Optavia until it paid them?
I wouldn't be surprised.
So, and again, to pitch this idea to other people and at the beginning they said, this is a great opportunity. It's needed because of the economy, because of all the stuff going on. Well, your set of circumstances that were surrounding you when you first started Optavia probably are a lot different than other people's. And if they don't have the same disposable income that they did, are they going to see the same number of success? Or are they going to be in a more negative position than they were when they tried to start this business? It seems, I don't know. It seems potentially like a recipe for disaster.
For sure.
So Charlene says, I call bull.
Same.
Yep.
But guys, I will tell you, it's not easy. We work really, really hard. We work long days. We work really hard. It's super fun because we do it together.
With our babies running around.
But the finances have been a real blessing in our life, right? We moved into this house right around the time we started program. And we had this idea, this 5-year plan. And thank you, Optavia, for allowing that 5-year plan to turn into a 2-year plan. We were able to kind of do some things that we had on that list a little earlier than expected, right? But
income claim. I love how they're being vague about this, but that for sure is like an income claim. That for sure is.
But again, it takes really, really hard work, but it's the opportunity that's there.
For sure. So Another poll. We love polls, right? So
No, you're not
Yeah,
gonna
I want
know
to see
the results.
You
who,
still don't see
taking a look
the
at this, right?
selections.
What area of the trilogy would you like to improve, right? So if you're on this call, right?
I love that
All of
they're
it.
on a call and they're sub like working down into the funnel about like people are purposely funneling themselves to be targeted by these coaches. You know what I mean? Because you know that they're saying, would you like a healthier body? Would you like a healthier mind? Would you like healthier finances? So whenever they get reached out to at the end of this call, they're already targeted, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Jeez. I think I keep pausing this because like it looks like there's still a chunk of time left. So here's my question, Avery. Do you want to do a part 2 to this, or do you want to push through and do the rest of the video?
How long is the rest of the video?
That's a good question. I'm gonna see. So we're at 30 minutes now. I think the video probably is like an hour. So probably make another 20 minutes, maybe. I think it was like 50 something minutes.
Okay. That's a good question.
I
I mean, I have time. I can go longer.
Yeah,
But
I have time to vote in the live chat. Live chat, you can decide, and because I don't want to exhaust people because I obviously love long form content, and I don't want to make people tired. So vote in the live chat. Oh wait, we don't have a poll thing. Oh well, let me know in the live chat. Oh, and don't drop any numbers. Just Avery can stay. Okay. Okay. I'll just keep playing while y'all. Oh, the question
keep
is,
going.
keep going. Oh, Tanya said keep going. Okay. All right. Love long form. All right. Avery, if it's good for you, then I'll just keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're a client, a coach, right? Where do you want to improve, right? Maybe you're a guest. Is it healthy body, healthy mind, or healthy finances, right? And we'll revisit those results a little bit later.
Yeah, we're gonna see those results in a bit. So drop that down below. And if you're watching the playback, again, drop that in the chat. We'd love to see where you end up on knowing what component of the trilogy wheel you want to work on. So Allie Callahan's long time friend that took her, I would say, many years to be awakened to just things that Frank and I were doing in our own health. We've had many conversations, always supported her every step of the way. And Allie entrusted in me when she was at a time in her life to move forward. And healthy mind, this girl nails it. So take it away, Al.
Hi, guys. Thank you, Natalie and Frank. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. Super nervous, but always excited to come out of my comfort zone. Something that Optavia has done for me is continuously
I don't think that's us. I think that's her.
me step outside of my zone of comfort. And
so like whenever I do these, I always download the video from YouTube and then I put it on my desktop so it doesn't have to go through as many like chains to stream here. So I think that's her connection.
Yeah.
And given me opportunities to grow. So a little bit about my story. I know Natalie mentioned that we've been long time putting my body under a lot of work with extreme exercise, sometimes twice a day to try to lose that weight. Really thinking I knew about nutrition when I didn't. So I watched Natalie post lots of transformational stories. I was completely inspired by her. I did question her a lot, not knowing if what she was doing was right for me. And I continued to watch. So at some point,
why is this lagging? I bet it's her. I don't think it's us. Are we lagging in the live chat? Can you let us know?
I was ready to make that step with Natalie and find out a little bit more about what this program had to offer. And after speaking with her, I jumped on. I had no idea what was in store for me when I said yes that day. The Habits of Health system had worked very successfully for me. I was able to lose 40 pounds pretty quickly. For me, the mindset piece was the biggest transformation of all. The weight came off quickly because the system worked and I followed the program. I allowed Natalie to coach me. But when I reached my goal, I knew that the emotional work needed to be done for me to propel my health forward for the lifelong. Um,
I'm just going to grab a drink real quick. So I'm just going to let it play for like 15 seconds. So that's
Yeah.
where I'm going if you need to pause it. Okay.
not knowing how to do that or even where to begin was when I really needed to turn to my life book. I learned things about myself that I never ever knew. I learned how to dig into areas of myself, my mind that I never had even paid attention to. I walked around with a fixed mindset, not knowing what was possible for me in any way as far as health, relationships, future goals. I walked with impossibilities. It was an impossibility for me to lose weight. It was an impossibility for me to dream bigger than what my life already was. I found myself before program really just accepting how life was. I accepted the body that I was in. I accepted my life, my relationships, really didn't know how to dream. And once I poured myself into program, into our community, into the Habits of Health system, I was truly awake.
Poured myself into the program.
Oh,
I'm just going to make a formal request to stop pouring.
please.
Stop pouring into us. And you don't need to give all of everything to a freaking program you're paying for. No, thank you. No, thank you.
No.
Awakened. I find myself now every time learning how to overcome something, whether it be when I was in my weight loss journey or now as a coach working to inspire others. Every time I overcome something with the support of Natalie and Frank, I find another door opening. It's almost as if every day I wake up, put my feet on the floor, and I'm continuing to chase that healthy lifestyle. And every day there is opportunity for growth. So for me, as a busy mom, I like to say that the work never ends, like the dishes and the laundry and the cleaning. There is constant work to be done. And it's amazing that we've been given the tools to overcome and conquer every single area of our life that needs growth.
We've been given the tools by Optavia. Is that what she's alluding to?
That's what it feels like.
Because that feels a little bit on the culty side of undue influence, that she's attributing everything, all the success to a program. And you can have that success too with just 4 easy payments of your firstborn child. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love that I can continue to, participate in opportunities just like today, learn from other mentors, from other people's journeys, continue to inspire others. I like to look at my life in 2 ways. There's pre-Optavia Allie and there's Allie now.
So in cults, there's something called, there's like your original self, and then there's the suppressed self or whatever. And I feel like that's very close to what she's saying here. There's a pre-Optavia, whatever her name is, and then there's the best version of herself, which I'm glad she feels good. I'm concerned that she's using her own personal experience to sell something to other in mass. I'm just not on board for that.
Nope.
Yep.
Almost don't recognize pre-Optavia Allie because she was living in a shell. Optavia Allie, the person that I am today, can't wait to conquer the world. Can't wait to find what else is possible for me as a coach. And I'm just so excited to see what their future holds. And I just want to thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to be here today.
You are awesome.
So incredible, Allie. And I have to say, I love Optavia Allie. And that is something that I personally
Of course you do. She's
as well.
Getting you money.
Yeah. I mean, I think that anybody in your downline that you make a commission off of, you would, and they probably I guess when you're plugged into everything, I'm sure they mean what they say. There's also more meaning to what they say than what they're at face value. And I think there's both. There's definitely both.
Yep.
And, prior to Optavia, I wasn't living just like you. My mindset wasn't right.
So true.
There was no confidence. And here I am today.
She looks really familiar.
And now kind of watching you
I don't know why.
through your own story. And it all starts right up here.
Gives me chills.
So awesome.
Not
So
sorry.
I think these poll results are coming in from our trilogy. So Frank, you want to share those poll results?
Yeah. So, all right, guys. So remember the trilogy: healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances. So it looks like it is close, Nat. It's like literally almost a dead heat. Right. So
what
guys,
are they
keep
supposed to be
putting
showing?
those answers. Let's see where we end up.
I think they probably
But,
cut it out to hide some kind of information, and I don't know why they blocked it out. What does that even say? Docs.
Click to exit full screen.
So it says docs.google.com. I bet it was a little poll, a Google poll or something like that. I know I think you can do polls inside of Zoom.
Yeah.
But I think they've obviously cut them out so that we don't have access to that information. So
of course.
It goes to show you that every aspect of the trilogy is important to people.
For sure. Absolutely. So we're going to move on now.
Every aspect of the trilogy is important to people. The people who have already on this call, not everyone in general. Like, I don't get that.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Close this out. 1 second. All right. So that being said, people will notice, right? Just like they did with me, just like they did with Melissa, just like they did with Allie. And, that being said, when people start to notice, we can do one of two things.
Yeah. So when people are noticing, right, they're going to ask questions. And, you can do one of two things. Like Nat said, you can either refer them to your coach, right, which they're going to get a tremendous experience. They're going to be successful. They're going to kind of follow the same path that you did, right? And it's an amazing one. The other option that you have, though, is you can pay it forward. This is what Natalie and I decided to do 4 years ago. Best decision we ever made. Our mentor was a big part of kind of awakening us to that. So maybe you're a client out there. You've got tons of people asking what you're doing. You're inspiring people. Pay it forward. Become a coach. Join our community. Make a little bit of extra money on the side.
This income testimonial is not representative of the average earnings that coaches achieve with Optavia. Only a very small number of coaches will achieve income that is within the range of this testimony. Optavia makes no guarantees of financial success. Success with Optavia results from successful sales efforts, which I appreciate. Obviously, if they're not successful sales efforts, then you're not going to get anything.
Yeah.
Which requires hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. All right. Okay. Well, you kind of negated what you just said. All right. Keep playing.
Change the world with us. We would love that.
I only think that we always say we wish we would have done this sooner.
Oh my God, yes.
When people started to notice, I remember referring them all to my coach, and she's like, "Girl, what are you doing? Join this mission with us. It's going to hold you accountable. It is going to give you purpose. It is going to give you community. It is going to give you healthy finances." So, at that point, I remember jumping on. I was a new mom of a third baby, and I was ready to change the world with her, knowing what it had done for our family. And here we are today. I mean, I cannot be more grateful for her yes, which led to my yes, which led to so many more yeses, right? It's truly absolutely beautiful. So, what are the benefits of becoming an Optavia coach?
Yeah.
So what are the benefits? Tell us.
For us, I could just speak what the benefits were for
the money. Right? It's the money, correct?
Pretty much.
Right. So that accountability, right? Reinforcing your decision to be healthy, right? It's just really focused on, keeping our health in check. We're mentors now to other people. We're role models to our clients. And, it's really.
So they're saying because they're on a pedestal and they're influencing other people, it motivates them to keep their health in check because they don't want to set a bad example to the
So
people.
they're being forced to continue perpetuating this visual that people see of them.
Yeah. And so if this program was effective in the way that I think that they're implying that it is effective, we wouldn't know if it is because they said that they make it seem like they're maintaining to lead by example. And would they necessarily look like the way they do if they weren't coaches? We don't know. We don't know.
Really important that we kind of walk the walk, right?
Seriously.
Listen, it's fun. I told you guys, we have a blast. I love what Ali said about pre-Optavia Ali and Ali now. I love that because that's how I feel. It's hard for me to remember the pre-Optavia Natalie and I. We've had so much fun. We've got to be part of so many inspirational changes in people's lives. We've gone on trips. We've earned money that was able to help us, do things that were, again, much further in the future for us.
Hard work.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, we work really hard. Here's what I always say, right? I realized probably about 2 years ago, I turned around to Nat and I said, you know what? This is what makes Optavia amazing on the coaching side of it, is we work hard. I'm sure that many of you on this call
That's what makes it amazing.
Whatever you do out there, right? You probably work really hard, long hours, right? Grueling. That's kind of what it takes in this world today.
That's kind of what it takes. Okay.
But we worked hard to make someone else's dreams come true, right? My boss, Natalie's boss, right? The owner of that company. And I'm like, if we're going to work hard anyway, let's work really hard and make our own dreams come true, right? And
where's the conditional statement at the top? Because it doesn't mean just because you work hard doesn't mean you're going to be successful in Optavia.
Yeah, I feel like the statement that was at the top is now like at the bottom, like in that paragraph, that tiny thing.
Yeah, that you can't read. Yeah. Yep. Oh my gosh.
Let's leave a legacy. I want my children to be able to benefit from all the hard work that we're putting in, right? Not somebody else's children. And when that hit, it was like a bulb went off in our head and we were already working hard. We worked even harder, right? But there are so many benefits to being an Optavia coach. I could spend hours talking about them, but that's just a few that are important to us.
If this is a recruiting call so that you can tell people how incredible being a coach is, why not be specific? Everyone is freaking vague in multi-level marketing, and I'm a details person. I mean, spelling's a little bit of an issue for me, but in general, I like more information as opposed to less. I mean, maybe that's why I'm here on YouTube running my mouth and for 2+ hours. I don't know, but it seems like if you're in sales or if you're trying to tell people stuff, be specific.
Yeah.
And I think it feels like a bait and switch because they're like, well, I'll sign up so I can find out more information. And you find out there's no more information on the
They'll never tell you what legitimately are the benefits that they have supposedly gotten.
Yeah. It makes me mad because they could say, I work 60 hours a week. I get paid this many dollars per hour. In the beginning, I was working 80 hours per week and I was making a lot less per hour. And I had to supplement, they could paint a more specific picture.
I feel like if they did that though, I feel like the reason that they don't say that is because it would hinder people from joining their team. So they keep it vague so that people feel more interested in seeing what they can do with it.
Yeah, and I'm not, again, if you're joining us now, I'm not a fan of multi-level marketing company and I'm not a fan of multi-level marketing companies. I am not a fan of the churn that happens on the median to lower levels in the compensation pyramid. And no, not every single multi-level marketing company is a pyramid scheme. I think they're probably product-based pyramid schemes. And one of the reasons I say that is because a lot of the products cannot stand up by themselves in the traditional marketplace. And two, the independent contractors can buy their own volume. They can purchase volume towards their monthly rank to a certain point. That's an issue for me. If they took away that, that would solve a lot of problems. You know what I mean? Like, because if you couldn't, it would cause a lot more people, or a lot more people to lose a lot less money. But that wouldn't, you wouldn't be able to continue to rank up. So I went to the kitchen for 5 minutes and I yelled "ugh" out loud multiple times listening to this guy. Fill an MLM bingo card with all this stuff. She said, or he said, yeah, oh my gosh, I know. Yeah. All right, let's listen to what this new coach has to say. I love that I don't love, they've gotten a coach to cover each of the 4 parts that they asked about in the beginning. So they didn't really care. It doesn't seem like they really cared what people were interested in. They were just getting engagement, and then they were going to cover all the reasons people join Optavia anyway.
Yeah.
So now I get the opportunity, because Nat's taking all the fun stuff. I get the opportunity to introduce you guys to a big dreamer. Okay. Jamie Papa is a coach in our organization, but she is more than that. She is a dear friend to us. She is building a tremendous business. We had the opportunity to watch her life. And Jamie, can't wait to hear you talk about the health and finances side of things.
That's not us, it's them.
Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm so excited to be here. Optavia has changed my life, my family's life, and everyone that we've worked with in more than our wildest dreams. Like, things that I never imagined would be possible have happened. So when I
okay, I'm gonna let her play. All of the extreme language used in these, I'm just like, I'm sick of it. I'm not sick of her. I'm just saying, like, the extreme language itself, it's like, it's almost too sweet. It's like when you've eaten too many sugary things, you're just like, I can't do another piece of candy.
I reached out to my coach, Natalie. I was really struggling. I was basically drowning inside. I was, dealing with extreme fatigue. I needed to lose weight. I needed to lose a lot of weight. And I had 3 babies to take care of. And I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to be the mom that they need me to be, and the person I need myself to be, in order to take care of them and to do those things that I have to? So I was following Natalie for a while. She'll tell you, a while. And I would just, kind of watch and figure out what she was doing. And then one day I think you reach rock bottom. You get to a point where you say, okay, this is it. Enough is enough. I need to take care of myself. And that's kind of when I reached out to her and I said, okay, tell me what you're doing. Whatever you're doing, I need in my life too. So she did. I lost 45 pounds on plan. I felt amazing. I had energy for the first time in my life. Clarity. I had just that feeling of nourishment. I just felt overall like health. It just was such a great feeling. And people around me started to notice, and fairly quickly. So I was only on plan, I would say, a couple weeks, and I decided to coach. I'm like, how do
I was only on plan for a couple of weeks and I decided to coach. And I lost 45 pounds relatively quickly. You're gonna get in trouble. Literally, this company has gotten in trouble for saying that you can lose 2 to 5 pounds a week, and then the court ordered them that they cannot post any claims without doing clinical trials, and so they're all saying the same thing that they're not supposed to. And it's encouraging. If you listen to this, yeah, you're going to read that at the top, but if you're really looking for an answer, if you really are you're desperate, you're going to sign up, because you've listened to all this lineup of all these people say all of these extreme things about how much success they've had losing weight.
Yeah.
So, that having the little disclaimer doesn't really take away too much.
Yeah, having the disclaimer there doesn't negate the fact that it is still a health claim. It is still a financial claim. Like,
yeah. And then she decided to be a coach 2 weeks into losing the weight on plan, or being on plan. And it's like, that's a short period of time. It's a very short period of time, which is fine. I mean, it's not fine. I mean, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It is what it is. That's all I'm trying to say. It is what it is. I don't really like the idea that she did it so quickly into this because she doesn't. How would you know if you actually liked it or if it's actually going to work for you long term? And then you're going to encourage other people to do that. That's the issue I have. That's the issue I have.
Same.
Not share this. This plan is so amazing. It's changed my life in just a few short weeks. I'm feeling incredible. How do I not share this with somebody else that's now asking me and saying, wow, you look really happy. Why? Did you change your hair? Did you do something different? Like, what is it? And then as I started to lose the weight, people were like, wow, okay, so what are you doing now? So I started helping people pretty early in my journey. And it was the best thing I ever did. Never in my wildest dreams did I think of what this would do for us and for my family, just by saying yes to just changing my life. Like,
just by saying yes and buying a very expensive weight loss product. And you know what I mean? Like this,
Yeah.
but there's like a lot of extra things that it wasn't just saying yes.
Yeah.
It's having enough money to pay monthly for all the food. I mean,
it was saying yes to a lot of different things that added up in the end.
Yeah. And you're also saying yes to people signing up on your team and you making commission off them. So, you know, are you really going to use that much discretion when you're making money off of your downline? Are you really going to say, hey, this plan isn't really working out for me, so I'm going to leave the company? Aren't you haven't you boxed yourself in because you've made that coaching decision so quickly into that process? You know, and I don't know.
This is why I did this. I did this just to, you know, to get us healthy, get myself healthy, get my husband healthy. And then we were like, wow, this is amazing. So I started coaching, and coaching really blessed our life in so many ways. I work really hard. There are long days, long hours.
What are the ways that this is blessing them? It's financial it financially benefits them because they say in so many ways when they want to say we made a lot of money off of our team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what other way? You get to work from home and we make a lot of money. Just say that. Don't say in so many ways.
Hours, but it's so worth it. I'm helping change lives, and on top of changing lives, it's in return changing ours and blessing our life in so many ways. My husband was able this year, finally after 2 years, to leave his second job, something that we've been really wanting for a long time, that family time, that connection that we didn't have because he was gone, and it was just.
Yeah, now you're stuck. If you decide to leave Optavia, you're both at home now. So if she decides to leave Optavia, where's that income that's going to support them while they decide to do something else, you know? All of these MLMs encourage you to bring your partner home, and it just boxes you in to staying with that MLM longer.
Yep.
Mommy
it
on the
creates
weekends.
even more of an echo chamber.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
I'm able to stay home with my kids and work from home. My son's asthmatic. You know, a normal day with an asthmatic child is ups and downs and highs and lows, and you never know where you are. So to be able to say, it's okay, you need a day home today, like I'm home, like I'm here for you, I'm present for you. I'll never forget that day.
If people with medically compromised children are listening to this and they want to be able to have that work from home opportunity to be in the same position that she's saying that she's in for their children or their child, that's a big draw for people. And to prey on that desire when the numbers don't play out in a consistent way to support, you know, someone trying this opportunity for themselves, it just feels wrong. It feels shady. It feels like you're preying on someone who, like, that's a big deal to have a medically compromised child. And to then say, hey, if you are worried about their health and you want to be available for your kid, you should do Optavia. What? You know, have more tact than that. And it just doesn't feel this feels slimy to me. It feels slimy to me.
Yes.
If your kid's asthma is out of control, they're probably not on the right medication. Yeah, I mean, I still have asthma. It wasn't as severe as one of my friends. He was he had a lot of allergies, and he was so allergic to milk, like he couldn't even touch it. He was allergic to a lot of things, but his asthma was very bad, and it could be set off basically by anything. So it's, I can, and again, those are like real medical issues that are real things for parents that are like, they take that into consideration a lot of times above a lot. And so it is a big pull, and it should be something to be said with care and caution. And you, like, her saying that to influence people to join her team. Come on.
That 2 years ago, after I just started coaching, and I showed my husband what I earned that week. It was my monthly, earnings. And he was like, you just paid our mortgage for the month. And I said, Merry Christmas. Like, that to me was like the start of our journey. And I was like, wow, like, this is amazing. We can do this. My kids have wanted for a long time to go to Disney, and it's something I've always wanted to be able to do for them. We lost my mother-in-law 2 years ago to cancer. And when you lose somebody that's important to you and like affects your life, it changes you. Like, you want to create memories. You want to create that.
I agree with what she's saying. I'm like, when my mother-in-law passed away, it's a devastating void in our life, and it's still incredibly sad. And then to use that to tug on the heartstrings of the people who potentially are looking for a job to work at home, I think that is manipulative. I think that's abusing that relationship for your own gain in a very bad way. Like, I don't really have any grace to extend to people who do this, because that's super manipulative.
Yeah.
That time with your family, and those things are worth more to me than anything. They're priceless. So we finally booked that vacation. We're going this year, and not only did I book that vacation, I booked a trip to the Caribbean for their first time. So it's creating memories of my family. It's creating those experiences that I never would have had or been possible thanks to Optavia. They've changed my life full circle. I'm able to help others and help others, transform their own life. And in return, I mean, it's completely given us a new outlook, and we're finally able to dream. So thank you. I really appreciate this. If it's something that you're thinking about, do it. It's worth it. It's 100% worth it. Help one person in your life. Just reach out and do that for somebody else, because it's just life-changing.
It's life-changing, but only a very small number of coaches will achieve income that is within the range of this testimony. And they didn't grammar check this. That's okay. All right.
I told you guys that she was a big dreamer, right? Doing big things.
The trilogy, though.
He's kinda
Healthy body, healthy
It's all
mind,
there, right?
Healthy finances.
They kind of just go together, right? It's almost impossible to have one without the other. That's how I look at it. I don't know too many people that have just gotten their body healthy and then their mind wasn't, right? And once you become a coach, it all kind of falls into place with the finances. But thank you so much, Jamie. We love you.
James. So proud of you.
Just again, chills.
Just watching other people create in their lives what Frank and I have created in ours. That's what this is all about, right? Mm-hmm. And we want Optavia for everybody. We always say that. We want it for the mailman who's having a bad day, like, he needs Optavia.
Our family, our friends, like,
leave the mailman alone.
So the question is, like, how does it work for coaches? So, like, maybe you're on this call and you're like, sounds pretty interesting. I think I'm interested, right? It's a relational model, right? That's what our business is based off of. It's really focused on just overall well-being, right? Healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances. If you decide to become a coach, you're a self-employed, independent Optavia health coach. It's full-time, part-time, for a lot of coaches start doing this very part-time, right? It's a little side thing. That's what we did. For us, it turned into retiring from 2 careers and doing this, every minute of every day, because we love it.
Because we love it, and we were financially rewarded because we joined when we did.
Yep.
And a lot of people decided to join us too. We got to do this full-time. They keep forgetting to say that.
Yep.
A very low startup, costs, and no real operating costs, no inventory.
Absolutely.
Business. Natalie and I work from the house, the car, Mexico, the pool. Super
Costco.
flexible, Costco,
We
right?
love Costco with
You know,
everything.
I work from
coming
the
in
gym
hot.
sometimes. You know, it's an amazing thing when you don't feel confined, right? To this business that that you're working. There's no quotas, no monthly purchases required, right? It's nothing like that. And you just get tons.
I'd like
and
to
tons
see a
of
source
training
for
and
that.
support.
Yeah.
Natalie and I in our
I love that he said it's nothing like that. Well, then what is it? Let's be specific. Just what is it?
Like, show us what it's like then.
Yes, because it seems like you've got to buy a certain amount of food per month, or you have to recruit a certain amount of people, or whatever it is. And I linked your links you sent me, Avery, in the description. And I think maybe you sent me the income disclosures. I don't remember, but
I don't know. I sent you a couple, but I don't know if I put the IDS in there, but I can find it.
well, we'll link it. We'll link it for everybody in the chat, so it'll be in the description after the video ends.
Our organization, we have I would say the honor to train and support our team. And there's no better feeling than to help other people achieve. When you hear Allie and we hear Melissa and we hear Jamie, they did these things on their own, but to know that we had like a little tiny part of that is just a truly amazing feeling. And without becoming coaches, I think sometimes what would we have missed out on?
A lot.
a lot.
So
Even though not all coaches get to experience this level of financial success, there's a very few amount of coaches, like they keep saying in the description, and they're making it seem like if you join them, everyone's going to experience that. Everyone's going to be able to experience an incredible life. Okay. I mean, I have so many questions.
So cool. So if you're here today, client, guest, and you're thinking, well, how do I get started? What are the action steps that I need to take? Guys, reach out to the person who invited you to this community time tonight. Make the decision to incorporate the trilogy of optimal health to help.
Incorporate the trilogy of optimal health. Oh,
you reach your goals, right? So you know where you are in this moment. Is it healthy body? Is it healthy mind? Is it healthy finances? Is it all three? Is it the entire trilogy that you're looking for? Sometimes you don't see that in your face right away. Frank and I had to figure that out for a few weeks. We just said healthy body. It was really healthy, mind and finances. That really changed our life. But jump into everything Optavia has to offer. And you'll know that.
Jump into everything that Optavia has to offer.
How about no?
How about no? Oh, yep. Oh my gosh.
7 days on program. You'll feel that love from the community and your support system around you. You'll know then what Optavia is all about. So, if you want to join our mission of lifelong optimal health and create a healthy well-being, all you got to do is have that heart-to-heart with the person who invited you here tonight.
All you have to do is have that heart-to-heart and bring your credit card. I mean, that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And just discuss where you are in this moment and discuss all the things that have been weighing you down and that you want to be really clear on as to changing. So we thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you, Allie, Melissa, and Jamie. It was beautiful to hear you all speak from your hearts and what Optavia has given to you. And let's make it an amazing month.
We love you guys. We appreciate all of you.
At Optavia, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The previous audio contained the
same disclaimer from the beginning.
Yeah, I think it's the same one because they're like, our people effed up and we have to make sure that we cover our bases because we've been sued in the past.
I get that it's part of the logo, but I really don't like that they made the Opta and Optavia bolded for every single time they mention it.
I bet they did that because people were mispronouncing it. I bet they did that, but it sticks out like a sore multi-level marketing thumb.
It's just like it draws my eyes to it and it makes me not want to read the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, I've skipped over an entire paragraph. Okay, go to the next one.
Whoops.
Additionally, this audio may have contained income or earnings representations of some independent Optavia coaches. The
No
story shared
kidding.
reflect the unique experience of a very small percentage of Optavia coaches and should not be relied upon by prospective or current Optavia coaches as an indication of what they should expect to earn. Oh my God. I'm glad they included this, but they should have said that. I mean, expecting someone to read this at the end of a presentation, they should have
It's
had
like
someone
reading the credits after a movie. No one reads them.
yeah, like, okay, yeah, you're gonna cover your bases, but is that gonna deter someone from signing up when they've heard these coaches say like, oh, we got to quit our jobs and we get to be home with our partner and we get to live an incredible life and get to go on trips and get to live a great, have all this money, and it's like that's what people heard, and they're not gonna read this. They're not gonna read it.
Nope.
All I see is Opta. Yep.
Same.
Yep. Let's see what else
It's just, when anything is bolded, that's just what my brain goes to.
Yep. Yep. What are these spoons?
I think that those are like just different types of utensils.
Dang. It looks like the spoon is growing.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. Okay. Not me and Avery getting distracted about graphics. I'm missing the point. All right. Unless it's a Marvel movie, then we are all sitting through those. Yes. I love a Marvel end scene for sure. For sure. Well,
after a Marvel movie, there's always like a little end scene, like extras that we need to look forward to. Yeah. So that makes it worth it.
Love it for sure. Yeah. And that's like, the Harry Potter credits are cool too because they're pretty interactive. Like they have the feet. The one with the map, the Marauders map end credits was really good.
Yes.
Yeah, growing or shrinking depending on how you look at it. Yep. Well, that was unexpected. I all of those income claims and all of those lifestyle claims and health claims. And Optavia published that to their own YouTube page. And I guess that they thought that those, the end credits were like those little conditional statements were going to be good enough to cover them. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like what someone says is more impactful than what is written on the end of the screen. And it seems like they should have just not posted that because it seems like there was way too many. I mean, I'm glad they did because we responded to it, but like we're obviously not the target market for Optavia. Like they're sending these to potential potential customers of Optavia. And what are they going to do? Like, oh, here's what it's probably going to happen. Someone's going to send a link to someone who's interested and they're going to say, oh, legally, because people hate MLMs, we have to make sure that we say this compliantly. But you can totally listen to what my upline says because they're doing incredible. I'm doing incredible. So just ignore. You know what I mean? They're going to say, like, just ignore all those, like.
And anything the reps say, just totally negate the disclaimer.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, how effective is that when you're still publishing it? And they didn't edit that much. They just put a little disclaimer. They didn't even put that over the front of the people so it was easier to see. Mm-hmm. Like it seems like if they cared about not unduly influencing people to sign up for Optavia, they should have had it like across the screen in a different color that said, hey, this is an income claim. This is a health claim. Not everyone makes this much money. Be fully informed before you decide to join us as a customer or join us as a coach.
Yep.
That to me as an audience, I would have been like, wow, I appreciate that. I do.
It would have made them a more honest company.
Yeah, more honest, have more integrity, have the appearance of more integrity. I would have at least acknowledged it and said, wow, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I do. And instead they're like, let's make it small. So influencers, they're supposed to, when they do like an ad for a company, they're supposed to have the hashtag ad or make it easily identifiable for their audience that they're selling something or they're being financially compensated for the product they're sharing. and it can't be hidden in the hashtags that they've done at the end, or it can't be like randomly in the second paragraph. It has to be easily seen. Like that's the FTC's rule. That's not my rule. It's about deceptive income practices. And your influencers aren't supposed to do it. And it seems like these multi-level marketing companies are doing it still.
Yep.
I mean, who does that benefit? Just like it benefits you. It doesn't protect the consumer. It doesn't protect your customer. It doesn't protect the potential coach you're exploiting because you're trying to make it seem like you can do better in this business than maybe you're going to be able to. I don't know. I'm not a fan.
No.
I am not a fan.
Yeah, Optavia is one of the ones that bothers me more so than Beachbody, just because one, it's not as widely talked about, I feel like.
Yeah.
And it's like the fuelings and the way that they have their coaches dieting, it just is very problematic in my opinion. So
yeah. And there's a lot of problematic multi-level marketing companies who fly under the radar. Because like, okay, is it Monat gets a lot of attention. It gets a lot of traction because they're running wild in the streets, basically. And so, yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is going on. It's fun to look at, but there's a lot like Amway's pretty anonymous, and they're still one of the biggest, if not the biggest, multi-level marketing company out there. They're still doing a lot of work. And do you hear about them? Nope. Do you hear about Juice Plus as much? No. Do you hear about Optavia? No, not as much. And so it's like, yeah, I mean, it's hard to find the information when they're trying to be more anonymous too. So, and again, it's like I think there's over 1,000 multi-level marketing companies out there.
Sounds about right.
And they're getting away with, they're getting away with a lot of stuff because it's not being brought to attention. And, when people lose money in multi-level marketing, they don't want to tell people. It's embarrassing. It to me, and it shouldn't be. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't feel good to lose a lot of money and think that you're gonna be able to do a business, and then you're not, and you lose money, and then you're like, okay, well, I just won't talk about it.
Yeah, that's a societal issue. It's just like society has made us believe that if we failed, technically, we shouldn't ask for help.
Yeah.
Or it's like we're too embarrassed to ask for help.
Yeah.
And that's a problem that I have personally.
Yeah.
And it just bothers me.
Yeah, I think it's a natural tendency to not want to share, like, they're not great moments with others. And it's like, at least with multi-level marketing, it's important to speak up, and it is hard. I mean, it's hard to talk about my experience in my multi-level marketing companies because like lost relationships are sad. Like it makes me sad. And it's just, but other people, like if they hear a story, then maybe they won't join. Maybe they won't join. So I had a great time, Avery. I hope that we can go live again sometime. And
yeah, this was fun.
I really liked reviewing Optavia. I didn't realize they were doing all of this stuff they were doing. And thank you so much to the live chat crew, and huge shout out to the replay crew. Y'all are the best. And I'm going to be going live tomorrow to listen to more Jessie Lee Ward on her podcast.
Oh boy.
So we'll be doing that tomorrow, and y'all give Avery a big shout out in the comments or in the live chat for coming on and talking about her experience in multi-level marketing. I loved having her. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah. Hopefully maybe next time we can stream to your channel as well. And
yeah, I'll have to figure out a way to do that.
So what you can do, and we can talk about this later, but you just need to it's something on the back end of YouTube to access it for live, and then I can add you to StreamYard so we can do it here. So Alrighty. I hope everyone has a good rest of your Saturday, day or night, whenever you're watching this. And I guess have a good day whenever you're watching this. And we will catch you next time. I'm DC and Avery. This is Avery, and her Instagram is linked in the description below. So please don't join an MLM, or please educate yourself if you're already in an MLM.
Do your own research.
Do your own research. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.